What's the challenge that you guys got this week?
I think our biggest challenge right now has been be a better us. I think we kind of have the balance of played really well the first week, didn't play very well last week. I think our tackling need to be cleaned up. I think how we played on the outside on punt needs to be cleaned up. And so I think we just have to be a better us fundamentally, technically, do the things that we're supposed to do, when we're supposed to do them, the way we're supposed to do them. And then I think it'll put us in the right position to hopefully make plays.
No, it's not an excuse, but is that just kind of the way it is early in the season? Like they're having some struggles too. Maybe it's for the same reason.
Well, I think if you look around the league, it's special teams. As long as I've been doing this, you never come out feeling like you had a really good game. It could be just one play here or 3 plays here or whatever. But I think if you look around the league last week, some people had really good weeks the first week, and then things went on this second week. And a lot of us are playing. I know we're playing with some younger guys in some positions where things are going to happen as the year goes on, and hopefully we'll be better by week 3, and then week 6, and then week 9, and so on. That's usually how it goes in the kicking game. So to answer that question, I'd say, yes.
Rich, how much at this time of the year are you still trying to find the right guys for the right spots? And maybe that's what you were saying to Bill, but
that's a fair question. I think it's probably leads to the one that was just asked, but it is a work in progress, right? Who do we have this week that we didn't have last week, or who's practiced it this week that didn't practice it last week? So I think as time goes on, like I said, it's going to be a little while before we know the exact unit and who's going to play in all those spots and who can be we're always looking for a pair and a spare, guys that can play both sides and those sort of things in all phases. So I think it's a fair question. I think as time moves on, we'll see what the full unit looks like. But I will say that they're all being prepared to play, and when they do play, they're expected to play well. And so that's why I kind of led with, I think we have to get better at what we're expected to do well, and that's tackling and playing with our hands and putting ourselves in the right position to make the play.
Rich, with Jaden being out, I know he and Matthew Golden's done some at punt return. What are you looking for, in the punt return game?
Yeah, I think the first thing we're looking for is the decision-making process back there. Where are we on the field? What's the situation in the game? Is it a return on? Is it a rush on? And make the right decision as to how to catch it, whether it's a fair catch. And if you're not going to catch it, give a Peter call to get the corner out of the way. We ran into that a little bit last week. So I think the first thing comes from the decision-making process back there, to put yourself in a good position to protect the offense when you're back there. Whether you're going to catch it, fair catch it, get guys away from it, whatever that may be. But I think that's the biggest thing, especially when you're dealing with younger guys, right, in Matthew. So hopefully that'll progress in the right direction.
Yeah, Rich, when a game ends like the Denver-Indy one last Sunday with the leverage call, and then they get to retry the kick, does that prompt a discussion or a reminder in the room?
Yeah, certainly it does. And I think we've talked about this in this room at length before. We watch all the tape that goes on every week throughout the league, and then mistakes that we make or mistakes that someone else make, it's always brought up in the meeting, and it's brought up in our individual special teams meetings, and then it's done. Coach does a great job with it on Fridays. The whole team gets to see some of those things that went on that were costly mistakes that cost teams games. Obviously the ball goes through the kids' hands, and you got to go down every one of those now, right, on kickoff return. So we're all learning from each other's mistakes over the years, and things come up last year that we're still covering, or the year before that we're still covering in special teams meetings. And it's with the new kickoff, something new comes up every week, that possibly didn't happen last year that's coming up this year, whether it was in preseason or it came up last week. So yes, those are always addressed and always looked at.
Rich, what did you see on the field goal right before the end of the half?
Yeah, I just think he kind of felt like he hit it a little bit high, and I thought it was a really good job by offense, give us a chance to take a shot at it. The thing I think was exciting for him is to come back and hit a big kick to put us up 2 scores, going the other way towards the end of the game there. So protection for me is always, we've had some guys go in and out of the protection part of it and play some different spots. So I thought they did a good job. Rashid did a really good job on the last one, the 56-yarder over there against 3 guys at the left side. So